Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. Today we're working on a basement. This is a walkout basement. As you can see, there's a patio over there. You can see the windows here. What they've got is they've got water coming in on two walls. And so what we're going to start with, before we decide to dig up this wall and this wall, before we do that, let's dig down there and see what kind of stuff they've put down in the ground here. In other words, what we're looking for is the construction. Did they put footer tiles down there? We already know that there's a gravel perforated pipe here. You can see Paul pulling up some of the fabric that they've wrapped it in. That probably caused more problems than anything because it's probably not deep enough for it to actually protect the wall. So let's go ahead and keep digging. So while those guys dig down there, let's take a look at what's going on here. You can see here's a corner, and this is the addition to the house. This is the original portion of the house, and you can see there's a crawl space here. There is a sump pump down here, and unfortunately, or fortunately as the case may be, this pump is not very deep. So let's pull some of this apart here so we can see what's going on. And you can see this is just a regular sump pit. It's only down there maybe 2 feet. They did put a membrane up here on the wall, okay? They tried to seal the wall, at least to keep this water from going into their new block, but this isn't deep enough in here. In other words, the footer of this basement, the footer of the new basement, is probably about 4 feet below the bottom of this pit. Water comes this area, the pump does take it out, but it's probably draining down into the new footer, which is allowing that water to come up through the wall inside. Okay, so here on this excavation, you can see here is what they put in as a footer tile. It had lots of gravel, was encased in fabric, and it looks to be just below the floor. It does come around. I think the problem is that the water really can't escape the system. You can see over here is the other footer tile, just kind of crushed from our shovel, but right here, you can see all the gravel. And I think if we put a sump pump down in this pit, that it really should be able to take this water out of here quite quickly. So here at the other end, you can see Paul down there. Here at the top of this basement addition, we've added a garden hose going down into the gravel. Water comes through the gravel. Let's walk down here and see if it's coming out. And you can see that fills up through the gravel into the pipe and comes all the way down here to the corner. And yeah, this is where the problem is. So we're going to put a sump pump in that corner over there. Unfortunately, we've got a lot of water backing up right here, but we just have to put the pump in there and pump it out. And then we know that this footer tile is working good. The water had no place to go before. We found that this is the footer right here, but water is still getting through, probably right through here. So we're going to clean all this off, and we'll go ahead and seal that. You can see it's really muddy right here and wet. So we need to seal this all along this footer, and I believe that we'll be able to take care of this problem. Also, the sump pump's going to lift it up. Once it drains, it'll drain down into this pit. The pump's going to lift it up, pump it out. We just need to get it out into the yard and away from the house.
Okay, so we set up a temporary sump pump and a pit just because we're going to be washing off the footer, and we need that water to be taken out of this trench. Pump will lift it up and take it out real quick.
So now we're just cleaning off the footer. Basically, we're just going to spray it off first, try to get some of the mud. You can see there's a lot of mortar on there, but we want to get that nice and clean. You can see that water coming down through the trench. That's the footer tile trench. That water is going to go into the pit here, runs through the gravel, and it'll slowly fill up the pit. That pump will kick on and take the water out. So we've pretty much just got to clean things out here today. Then we'll come back and we're going to reseal this with a liquid rubber, which is a membrane. It really helps keep that water from going through. You can see the block where it sits on the footer, and you can see there's a gap down there. That mortar, this is from the masons, and there's just cracks through that mortar that allows that water to come up under their floor. Let's go inside there and take a look. This is Roy, he's the homeowner, and he's called us out here to try to solve a basement problem. they've got water that comes in, down here on the footer, on the floor, underneath the baseboard. This is a typical problem. You saw us outside. Maybe Roy can tell you a little bit about what's going on.
Well, what we have is we have a situation where we're trying to remodel the basement, and periodically over time water comes in, it strikes through. We've tried every alternative method to solve the problem, from latex on the inside to seal the inside of the block, to parging partially some of the wall, and in the end it got to the stage where I needed a professional, and these guys came in and helped me.
Yeah, we're going to try to get this all finished up here today. And again, this is a really nice living area. This is in the remodeling stage. You can see this is a bedroom, I believe. Is that right?
Yes.
This is a bedroom. And then behind that bedroom, let's go back there too, because there's actually a small closet or storage area that also gets wet. Oh, you already sealed it up. You've been busy already. We came out here, I think it was on Monday, maybe whatever day it was, and he had this opened up so we could see it, but he's already put the sheetrock back. Nice job, looks really good. But we could see where the water was coming through there as well. So this is the addition. Behind this wall, there's a crawl space. And so the floor of the crawl space is probably up here somewhere. And you can see we've got maybe right here. And we've got a good excavation if we have to dig this wall, but I think that we've got that solved, as I already explained outside. Good morning, Chuck here with Apple Drains. Yesterday we went ahead and excavated this wall, and you can see here we've got the foundation wall, part of the foundation wall, and here's the footer. The problem here was that this footer tile right here, which is gravel perforated pipe, was actually laying right here alongside the footer, and water flooded up through their system, wasn't being carried away, and it would go through these voids. As you can see, this goes right up underneath the floor, and there's a lot of voids along here. You can see all along this footer just how many places that water could enter as it went through there. So what we're going to do is, of course, we're going to replace that footer tile, that gravel perforated pipe, and that pipe will sit right down here at this level. A lot of gravel underneath, a lot of gravel, bring that gravel up over top of this footer. We're going to seal this wall with a liquid rubber. It's just an asphalt coating, basically a damp proofing. And you can see that this water is going to come down through the footer tile. It's going to enter down into our sump pit, because the problem really was that the water could not escape. There was they did a great job of putting the footer tile in, but that line is long clogged. Water came down from all along the side of this basement, along this side as well, and it just had no place to go. So the footer tile, which sits right here, it just flooded. It flooded up, water came over, and it came right through here along the foundation. And again, you can see all these voids. First course of block, and they filled the block, but you can still see where water can come down in through here. It just pours in through this block. Once it goes into the block, it just floods down to the bottom, and of course would come up into their basement, which is a finished area. Okay, so you can see our liquid rubber that we put down here along the footer and on the first course of block, because water was coming in there also. Just paint the wall, that's all you do. Takes a little bit of time, but not much. Once we've got this painted, we'll be able to go ahead and put our gravel down here in the bottom of the trench. Then we'll lay new pipe, connect to the sump pit, both sides, and then we'll plumb it out, cover it up, and we'll be done. Okay, so you can see we've got our perforated pipe installed well below the footer. Remember, here is the footer, and there's the first course of block right there. So we've got our perforated pipe, our footer tile installed, and we're pouring the gravel. We're well below the footer. It comes right over and comes into the sump pit. The pump's going to lift it up, send it out. We put a check valve on it just so water can't come back, which I don't think it will. It's going to discharge right out into the yard. Okay, so we've got our downspout hooked up his existing sump pump. Line goes down along the wall, you can see him covering that. So we've got a lot of water that discharges all the way out there at the end of the line. Just covering up here last little bit. Throw the mulch back on there. Maybe a little bit of dirt to remove. Downspout drain, sump pump, downspout drain. Remember that our sump pump for the wall is right below my foot, just about 6 inches. Comes out. We're going to discharge everything into a pop-up, an emitter. As the water comes down the line, it'll just lift up this emitter and the water will disperse out through the ground. Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day.